Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast with myself and the wonderful Sean.
Well, hello
Look
there.
at that
It's
sexy
been
man.
not too long since we last
Yeah.
spoke.
Surprisingly,
Which is,
we're on course for every 2 weeks.
we're on course.
Who would have thunk
The
it?
universe has a way of course correcting itself.
It does, in every way. But yes, here we are. Back at it again with another episode. So, how has life been treating you, mate? How's things? How's...
Life has been good, yeah. Serviced my car, all that kind of jazz.
Oh, God, expensive
It
stuff.
lives to fight another year. Yeah, it's amazing how they work things out because you're expecting one thing, but then something completely different happens, and then it's like, okay, so that thing is fine, which was apparently an amber warning last year, but it's somehow better now. It's like I think they kind of make it up as they go along sometimes, but
Yeah.
my phone was playing up on the day as well, and I was like, oh no, so they couldn't contact me, and it turns out I needed a real wiper blade, so I was just like, oh no. But that's not an MOT fail, a real one. So I managed to get my own one when I was £6. You know how much they were going to charge me? 20.
How much?
So I'm quite happy with that.
I'm guessing Amazon.
Yeah, eBay, I think it was.
Oh, okay.
£6. You can't go wrong. Delivered. I
Do you know
don't
what?
know how they do it.
No, you can't. Can't go wrong with that. That's
I
pretty
fixed
good.
my car for £6. But yeah, other than that, yeah, fine. Just chilling with family and working and just doing all the normal business and pleasure things that one would do.
Yeah.
Pleasure,
I
lots
was
of
going to
pleasure.
ask. Oh yes. I was going to ask actually, how is the work going? Because obviously, for those who are not aware, who are not educated, Sean is a lovely editor, very good at his job.
Educated.
He's a very good editor. He does that. That's his job. So how is it? How's it been? Because I know when we last spoke about this, it was a couple of months ago. It was quite slow, wasn't it? There wasn't a lot coming through. But
Yeah.
has it picked up a bit now? Since
It's still kind of slow, but it has picked up a bit now, so I'm quite happy about that. I've got a few projects on the go, and obviously I'm still doing some question answering things on the side as well, as a little side hustle for Sony and Samsung. So that is quite
still going then.
good. It's still going. It's getting the kind of higher ups on it are kind of getting a bit greedier and wanting you to work more for less. But yeah, other than that, it's all right. I'm still here. Still got the worries, but who cares? I'm here now. Live in the moment. Enjoy life.
Enjoy every second you get.
Who knows what's going to happen tomorrow?
Exactly. Yes. Very good philosophy, sir. Live every second
Yes,
like it's last.
How have you been this past few weeks? I know you've been quite busy
I
with
have.
dramas.
No, not so. I don't know. Not so much. So I think it was just a lot happened at once, surprisingly. So I got reached out to by Alzheimer's Research UK, a charity I've worked with a couple of times on stream. They actually reached out to me and sort of had a big thing that they're doing now for, next. I believe it started this month and it's going to carry on for a while. They're trying to raise £2,000 in total, so I've given myself the target of 500. Try and hit that goal by the end of next month. So we're doing it this month and next month.
Yeah.
Raised a little bit of money already, which is cool. There's a few incentives. Every £30 we hit, someone gets a free sub to the channel for a month. And use all the emotes.
But you're going to say someone gets gunged.
someone gets gunged. There's a few other incentives that I've still got to update on there that are coming into it. But yeah, it's been a busy time for that stuff because I've got back into the editing and I've been sort of getting more of a timetable for myself because I just didn't. I think not having a timetable just doesn't help.
No.
So
we all need a little bit of structure, but it's kind of hard to get into the groove of things.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little bit tricky. But other than that, I've been hanging out with a couple of people, bit of dramas here and there, a little bit of dramas, but life has its drama, so...
Would expect nothing less.
Would expect nothing less. But,
Had a few problems with my flat. Haven't got one.
yeah. It's been okay, though. It's been good, and been keeping myself busy, been going on a few little walks here and there to keep myself a little exercise and stuff, so... Yeah, it's been good.
Good.
Yeah, all good stuff.
Good. Can't complain.
Yes.
Well, without further ado, shall we get into the meat and bones of the podcast.
Yes.
For once, it's not my dogs.
Yes, you're going to hear dogs. It's not your dogs, though, this time. Yeah. Oh.
It might have been surprisingly good.
Teddy, what have you found? What have you discovered, sir? Okay.
A large ostrich.
A large ostrich. But yes, shall we get into the news then? What have you got, good sir?
Well, today I think we'll briefly touch on, even though we're probably both not really interested in football, we will briefly touch on the fact that it's the Women's World Cup final today. As of today, it's Sunday. What date is it?
Sunday, it's the 20th.
Sunday, the 20th of August.
Yes.
So yeah, it's been very highly publicised, which is it's good to hear it on the news quite a lot. Obviously, they've kind of got to this final stage, and if they win, then they've won. And I don't know, as of this point, I don't really know. I think the match is still ongoing, because like 90 minutes. I think it was like 11 a.m. kickoff. So we will soon find out if they've won. I suppose I'll get the results up in case it's breaking news as we
as we go on.
As we go on. So we'll come back to that probably. But yeah, very good, very nice. Apparently they were asking for a day off, like a bank holiday if they win or something, but Rishi Sunak said no. But whatever.
What a shock.
Gotta love the sexism.
Yeah.
No, I don't really know what it is. But yeah, apparently pubs were moaning because they couldn't open an hour earlier as well. For punters to go in and have their pints and watch it early.
No, of course.
But, I mean, rules are rules, I suppose. Rishi said no again. Rishi's dishes.
Rishi's dishes. On the subject of Rishi Sunak. Rishita. Should we talk about what we think about him? How is he doing? I mean, we haven't talked about prime ministers and government and stuff for a while.
I don't know who he is. Is he a prime minister?
I think he's still a prime minister.
I've never seen him.
As far as I'm aware. Yeah. He's been very, very quiet. I will give him that. He's not really talked a lot, has he? He's been quite silent through his...
I think the fact that he's been very quiet is kind of a good and a bad thing. So it's like there's been no controversies, no babbling Boris Johnson, even though he's still been in the news for other things. But it's kind of nice to have a bit of stability in the politics at the moment, even though that's probably just the facade. I don't know how you say it. Facade.
A facade.
A facade. Wingardium Leviosa. But that's how they're appearing to the public anyway. So it's nice to have a bit of stability. That's all you can really say. Apart, he's not really doing anything good or bad, it seems.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he signed loads of new oil licenses and stuff, much to the dismay of Just Stop Oil.
Yeah.
And other things. I think we touched on last time that there was kind of Greenpeace protests on his house and stuff, which is
I can't remember if we touched on it, but scientists have now said it's too late for global warming. It's now global boiling. Like we've crossed that threshold. We've gone past the minute clock now. There's no minute to midnight anymore. We've gone past it. It's too late.
Okay.
Planet's fucked.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
It's great that all the
just
world
what you want to hear on a Sunday.
Yeah, it's like all the world leaders have listened. Now I'm gonna go watch the football.
And quote Clarkson, oh no, anyway.
Oh no.
No.
Anyway.
It is very concerning. But
I think it's concerning, but I don't think it's a surprise.
Not worth kicking up a panic about at the moment.
Yeah, I don't think it's surprising to anybody, is it? Let's be real. I mean, none of the world leaders have taken it seriously.
No one's
anyway.
shocked.
No, exactly. And I think every time that it's been brought up, any time that world leaders have been questioned on it, they've not given a shit. They've not tried. Like again, Rishi Sunak signing a bunch of oil licenses in again, and being able to dig for that oil. It's just says it all, really, doesn't it? So
it's like, I understand they can't just stop oil as it is, otherwise like infrastructure would shut down. But it's like not reassuring news to hear that he's like basically just given the go ahead to pollute more and extract those more natural resources and stuff. When it should be kind of cutting down on that kind of thing, or giving kind of an explanation as to why. It would have been nice.
Yeah, it would have. But here we are. I think a lot of the thing as well is like when it comes to building wind farms and things like that. A lot of the times, the reason they don't get built actually isn't because the government haven't put it in place. It's because people protest that they look like they don't look pretty, which I think when you're trying to save the planet, I think there's a point of where looking pretty is just not important anymore. Like, come on, people. Like, you want to keep fucking using your technology, you need to start allowing certain things to happen. So
it's people need to just chill out about that. I think if I mean they don't look hideous.
No.
I won't mind one in my backyard. no, I don't know. But yeah, it's one of those things. Hopefully, a lot of them kind of use the offshore kind of technique where it's like literally you can barely even notice them on cloudy like days and stuff. But whatever. If what needs to be done needs to be done. More solar panels and more natural ways of creating energy. It's just the way forward, isn't it?
Me and my mum got solar panels put on the house.
The
thing is, I'm starting to realise why a lot of people aren't doing it. 12 grand for 6 panels. It's a lot of money. Granted, we're already...
It's like over time.
Yeah. I mean, we're already making money back. But it's like, how much is that? It's going to take a while to build up that amount. I think it's estimated about 3 years we will make back what we've paid into them. And then we'll start making money again. Which isn't bad. But I think if more people were using solar panels, I think that time would actually shrink down and it'd get quicker.
Yeah.
But whether that's true or not, I don't know. But I mean, that would be my logical thinking of it.
Yeah, it is good that more people are kind of taking it seriously and kind of taking it upon themselves to get solar panels on their houses and stuff, which... But there needs to be like a massive government push for this kind of thing, because at the moment it's just like, do it if you want.
I think that's the thing. Yeah, I think if they put grants in place to help people, like I think a lot more people would do it, and I think in the long term it would pay off, wouldn't it? I mean, logically speaking, everyone would be making a bit more money, and the planet wouldn't be fucking toasting as badly.
So, yeah, but it's too late now anyway, so fuck it.
That doesn't mean that we shouldn't do something.
No, it means we should just keep on going as we are and just do it even worse. No.
Just burn it all.
No, take it seriously, people. Slow it down, please. Give our children and our great-grandchildren a chance.
A chance at life. Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, it's very much a topic of discussion I think you could talk about for hours, but I think the overall thing is like there's a lot of different... I mean, I'm surprised there's not more hydropower used in the UK, because I mean we are literally an island, but is it a case of it has to be sort of dam to do it? I'm not too sure. Like, does it have to be a dam to create energy?
There's like tidal things, isn't there? There definitely is some in use, but it's just they just don't get like the funding to do it. It's cheaper to use oil and gas than to use these things. It's like so stupid. Like money talks, isn't it?
I think that's the sad thing. Yeah, money does talk. That's just how it goes. So
it's like it just needs a massive collective movement, doesn't it? And we're just two people on a podcast. We don't have the answers, unfortunately.
No,
and we can't make a difference no matter what we do.
Exactly.
Apart from taking it upon ourselves to do that little bit better.
Little things here and there, but I mean, 6 solar panels is not going to save the world.
That's like the plot of Heroes. Save the cheerleader, save the world. 6 solar panels ain't going to save the world.
Save the world. That's a great series. First series, anyway. After that, it gets a bit shit.
Yeah, first couple or whatever, but then I kind of dropped off.
Yeah, but that's fair.
Well, there's lots of kind of migrants coming across the channel, of course, in desperation and trying to find a better life. But we've kind of there's like thousands and thousands coming in now. Like it's that kind of peak season, and we've obviously set up the Bibby Stockholm barge to kind of put them all on, which is kind of the big kind of ship that has been converted into living quarters to house many of them.
Yeah, I know this.
It's some kind of solution to, stop putting them in hotels and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I think they had about 3 people in them before they kind of took them all out because of fire hazards or something, so it hasn't been designed right. Yeah. So it's like, great, can't even do that right.
We made an incentive to change it so it's better. The incentive is wrong. We can't do it.
I know. I feel like, in general, I don't know, what do you think about the putting them on a barge in general? It's like, what? Where else do we put them, really? It's it takes like 12 months to process them, like in general.
I mean,
so they can't work, they can't do anything apart from just sit there and wait.
I think the best thing the government could probably do is start hiring more people to process it so it goes quicker. Yeah. Lower that 12-month mark down, because that's just utterly ridiculous.
I know.
And I mean, it's not ideal putting them on a barge. I agree, but I mean, it is that thing. It's like, where do we house all these people safely? Because that's another thing. You want them to be safe. You obviously don't want them just on the street. That's not fair at all. So it's basically, don't take in what we can't have, but also speed up the process for these people to get help, and allow, like, even if you just allow them to get a job, like, that's the thing. What I don't understand is like, allow them to work so they can start getting their own money, so they can pay their own way.
Maybe some of them could be processors,
Yeah.
Somehow, helped out in that regard.
Yeah, train them up. Like, I think that's isn't that the point of allowing these people to come over, is so not only they can have a better life, but they can have a job, they can have, like, an actual life that's safe and secure.
It's like the strange thing in this country is, like, there are ways to get in here legally, but there's so many loopholes to jump through that it's just easier to come here illegally on dinghies and whatever they can't do, and try and get processed at this end to try and become legal citizen, which is just completely backwards anyway.
I mean, I think the sad thing about it is that there's a lot of danger to coming over here illegally anyway, and as we've seen many times, unfortunately, the tragedies that do occur from that, dinghies overturning, kids drowning, like, it happens, and it's sad that that's a thing we talk about, but it is the realization of the situation. Like, this is, I think everywhere right now is so underfunded that it's just impossible to do anything. And it's just finding a way to build up a bit more money. If raising taxes a little bit is what they need to do, but they need to make sure they're spending that money on the right places. Again, one of my biggest things to shout out is MPs should be paid a civil wage. They're civil servants. They shouldn't be getting paid six figures. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All that extra money that could go into funding the country, to helping the country out of the shithole that we're in. Don't be so fucking selfish.
Yeah.
And
close all the bars in the Houses of Parliament. What the hell is that about?
Yeah, like, how the fuck, like, people who work don't.
All the bars which were exempt from COVID rules because it was a workplace.
What a shit.
Okay. Anyway, that's a completely different thing, but
yeah, I mean,
annoying.
It's ridiculous. There's clearly this divide, isn't there, rich poor? That's how it is, and it just needs to change. It needs to be stopped, but whether it will be or not, I don't think it will. I think it's going to take something very drastic to stop all of that, and whether
that's capitalism, folks.
Capitalism.
That's all, folks.
That's all, folks. That's all done.
That's all, folks.
It's absolutely awful. I don't get it, but that's me.
Yes. Speaking of awful,
I do like
the baby killer Lucy Letby has been found guilty of murdering 7 babies in her reign as a nurse.
I was going to say this is a nurse, isn't it?
Yeah. So she's now like 30-something-year-old. She's a nurse in, like, maternity wards and stuff, and she kind of the person that you would look to look after your small baby as it's been born.
Disgusting.
But no, she decided to kill them. Which is absolutely abhorrent.
What I can't understand is how she got away with it for so long. I mean, she killed 7 babies while being a nurse, while working around other nurses. How was this person not caught sooner?
I know. Since she's been, like, dismissed, only 1 baby has sadly lost its life due to kind of natural, causes. But it's just apparently the hospital was, like, covering it up as well, like trying to not make it seem like it was the nurse that was doing it.
Disgusting.
And I don't know how. She's a woman in her 30s, like, in the prime of her life. She's got, like, a decent career. I know it's not, the best being a nurse, but, like, she's got that, and she's deciding to throw it all away by murdering small. Like, she is of, like, maternal age as well, where she'd be, like, thinking about having kids and whatever. Well, why would she even? Who in their right mind would kill a small child? Like, what?
It's so fucked.
Not even a child, a baby.
It's so fucked. I can't fathom being that mentally ill that you can do that. Like, taking a baby, like, not even a baby, like, literally a couple of days old. I even object to saying that mentally ill.
That's just transcends mentally ill.
That just transcends
you can't.
a monster.
There's no excuse for it.
That's just a monster.
Yeah.
And it's
psychopath.
Literally.
And the fact that she's operating in daily life just as normal, no one suspects anything really, and yeah, so
it's disgusting.
That is malicious, evil, malevolence.
I hope she has the book thrown at her. I'm glad that she was found guilty. I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
And she should have the book thrown at her. I mean, for monsters like that, it's difficult, right? Because do you have the death penalty for someone like that? Like, do you end their life quicker, or do you make them suffer in prison? But the problem is, prison isn't suffering. They have 3 meals a day, a bed to sleep in, all this luxury shit they get in their fucking, their cells.
I mean, hearing from family members who have been prison officers, it is quite nice in there, to be honest.
No, I don't get
but,
it. It's absolutely foul.
It's...
Like
there are arguments to be made of, like, better or bigger punishments for these crimes, but we're no better than they are if we end up doing the death penalty, I suppose.
No, I don't
know. Do they even have any human rights at this point?
I don't know. I think it's a difficult one to talk about, isn't it? It's like there are certain monsters in this world that don't deserve a cell, and I gotta be honest. I think anyone that murders a baby like that doesn't.
Yeah, she's not going to do well in prison. But that's all we can hope.
I mean, they have different cells and blocks for them, don't they? So I mean, but I mean that's something we could talk about. Ian Watkins, I mean, very famous Lost Prophets lead singer, obviously got stabbed recently in prison. Good, shame he lived, but but I mean, I mean it's not safe.
Hear quite a lot about like the kind of community in prisons and what it is actually like to be there, and like how your crime can define how your experience actually is in there, which is quite interesting. So
I mean
I've heard paedophiles and stuff like that are the bottom of the food chain.
Paedophiles and rapists, they are the single ones that are singled out in prison, from what I've heard.
Let's just say if they aren't stabbed in their time in prison, then something's wrong.
Yes, they've been looked after. So,
but I mean, it just is what it is, really. Like, that is the punishment that we give them, and if their cellmates decide to punish them even further, I don't think anyone's going to be truly opposed to that.
Nope.
But
I'm all for that.
You go for it.
I mean, don't do a Russia and just have a Russian dictionary of definition of justice. But I mean, if you're in prison for being a monster, then you're going to get what you deserve, plain and simple.
Yeah, many people will quite happily turn a blind eye to a quick shanking.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
To those who are truly deserving.
Not condoning it, however, but
not condoning that. No.
It.
If it happens, it happens.
It happens. It happens. What a shame. Oh no.
I know.
Anyway,
what a shame for those families of the victims as well.
I think that's the thing as well. It's like you've got to wonder what goes to the family's mind when they find out their child has been such a monster. Like,
I know, because they'll have just been told that sorry, I think I was talking about the victims there. You go ahead, talk about your point.
No, I was just gonna say, like, imagine being the parent of a child that's committed such a heinous crime. How do you process that? Because you want to protect your child, but at the same time, your child has done something unforgivable. How do you?
Yeah, it's a very unique situation, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, love transcends all, but you can. There are parents who turn their children in and stuff. So
yeah, I mean, I would. I'm just saying, if I had a kid and they committed a crime like that, I don't care how much I love them. You're gonna suffer the consequences of your actions, plain and simple. Yeah. You want to break the law, you've got to face the music. So, yeah.
It's one of those things. I don't know if I could say what I would do. It's just one of those things in that situation. What would you do? Like we like to think we'll do the right thing until we're presented with it ourselves.
Absolutely,
so it's a difficult one for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Well said, sir. Well said.
Well, not just the pretty face. No, it's not pretty. It's not pretty.
That's just a pretty face.
Shall we move on to something a bit lighter, I suppose?
Yes. Anything light-hearted in the news?
Well, I don't know about light-hearted. It's definitely an issue, but apparently Costa Coffee has come under fire for putting up a kind of advertisement featuring a post-op trans man.
Okay.
So it's kind of on one side of it, they're trying to be inclusive and, trying to just show the world, what is going on. And, if they want to have a trans man up there with kind of vasectomy scars where they've had the breast removed, then, that's just a part of life. But on another hand of it, like a lot of women are kind of kicking off because it's, I don't know, glorifying vasectomies and stuff like that, and changing your bodies in. It's a difficult one to skirt around because I don't know like what to say the right thing anymore. But it's like women. Obviously, lots of women have their breasts removed when they've got cancer or when like they have to have it removed for like medical reasons and stuff, and they're kind of feeling a bit disrespected by such a kind of out there advert. Which, I mean, is it really a coffee shop's place to be so controversial, or should it even be so controversial in the main stream anyway?
I don't know.
It's a difficult one.
It's a tricky one because I think no matter what companies do, there's always going to be someone out there that's going to be offended.
Arguments always for and against these things.
I mean, I personally don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think being inclusive and having inclusivity is a great thing. I think that's a positive, personally, especially considering how suppressed the trans community still is. But I can understand where maybe some people might find it maybe a little bit inappropriate in the sense of, well, if you're going to share a trans man, can you share a woman? But you could make that argument about absolutely fucking anything. And I think it's not a valid argument to shit on a company for. They're just trying to be inclusive. That's just my opinion. Again, I'm not saying I'm right, I'm not saying I'm wrong, but my opinion of that matter, and I'm sure there are people that will disagree with that, is that I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's about time we stop having this mob mentality of just outrage at, the smallest things that don't matter. I think. Yeah,
well, lots of people are boycotting Coast Coffee, apparently. I was like one of those people who was like, oh, that's surely no one's actually doing that. If they want the coffee, they're going to go. But like, I was just walking past it the other day, and some guy was talking to his kids, like, and they're like, oh yeah, can we go in here? And they're like, no, I'm boycotting it because of their values. I was like, oh my god. Obviously, he didn't sound like that. He was thinking he's a crackhead. But,
you think he's a crackhead?
But apparently, this is the real thing. People are boycotting it.
I don't know. I think.
And I don't think the intent behind it was to cause any harm to anyone. But it's a bit like, I'm sure they kind of knew what they were doing, kind of riling up this small percentage of people who are going to be outraged by it. Which obviously the most vocal people aren't actually individually affected by it. They're just speaking on behalf of people who they think are affected by it.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes me laugh more, is that I feel like if an actual trans man came forward and was like, do you know what, I'm uncomfortable with that, that means more to me than about 100 bloody people being like, I find that offensive, who have fuck all to do with the trans community. Like, stop being outraged over other people's shit. Like, how about look in your own toilet bowl and see what you need to work on before starting to be so outraged and so disgusted by something that literally has nothing to do with you.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's just silly.
Yeah.
Plenty of things to be annoyed about.
That's that's our light-hearted section.
That's the fun part of this podcast done.
That's the fun part.
Right, shall we move on to things watched then? Shall we?
Yes, the actual fun part. Yes.
Yes. Let's move on. So, what have you been watching, Gunto? What stuff have you got lined up?
Well, I have been watching an anime, and this hasn't been forced by anyone. I've decided to watch it on my own.
Ooh.
Because
Go on.
It's Jujutsu Kaisen.
Ah, okay. I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, I think I watched about 15 episodes so far. It started off really well. I've been quite enjoying it. It's kind of sorcery and that kind of thing, like conjuring up like spirit animals and stuff. So it's not so much kind of hand-to-hand combat, but yeah, it's quite good. The story's quite good. It's quite modern, quite quirky, quite funny. I thought it was better kind of at the start, and then kind of as it goes through, it is a bit kind of dragging its heels a bit now, and I'm getting a bit bored of it, and it's starting to sound like a video game when there's like, I need to hit his weak spot and all this kind of thing, and like, if I do, a grade 1 sorcerer can only kill a grade 1 sorcerer and stuff like that. I'm like, this sounds a bit video gamey. Am I like witnessing an audio described video game? But maybe that's just what the genre is like.
Yeah, that's pretty much,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. Maybe that's why I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. But yeah, I was quite enjoying it so far. But so I'll have to just kind of stick with it, see what I think about the ending and stuff like that. But, yeah.
From what I've heard, it's very good.
I thought I'd give it a try. Give it a try.
Yeah. Fair.
Yes.
Fair point. To stick on anime, I've watched Chainsaw Man. Finally sat down and watched it. Me and Shaggy binged it in like a day. Very, very good. Very, definitely worth a watch. Yeah, no, it's fantastic. The art style is really great. The story's really cool. I'm glad they've confirmed a series 2 now. So hopefully that'll come out soonish.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's incredibly good. Very good, very fun. I do highly recommend. People who like anime especially, go and watch it. It's fun. It's a good one. It's a good choice.
Is it a horror? Is it like...
it's kind of like fantasy action. I guess you could class it as a slight horror. Yeah, there are definitely horror elements to it, but I wouldn't say it was a horror at heart. You know, it's the main thing about it isn't being a horror. It's sort of more. What's the word? Yeah, it's definitely more action and fast paced based than horror. So it's definitely it's a good one to watch. It's kind of sort of based on the ideas that there's these different demons in the world, and he sort of gets transformed into one of those kinds of part human part demon hybrids kind of thing. So it's very, very good. The writing's really good, the voice acting's really good. It's all round just really good.
It's just good.
It's just good. It just
so
works.
Good.
It just works.
Fair enough, can't argue with that.
I can't argue with it.
Recommendation taken.
Yes. Anything else?
I've watched Venom: Let There Be Carnage for the first time.
What do you think?
Yeah, it was okay. It was okay. I don't know. Like, I wasn't a massive fan of the first one, although I thought the first one was better than this one in some ways. But
I can agree with that.
I think, I think all Marvel films these days, I feel like DC wins in this kind of regard. They're all trying to be like comedy films, and whilst it works in some, like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, it doesn't really work in others. And I don't think, the comedy in this movie really hit for me.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that funny.
That's fair.
When I felt like it was trying to be anyway. I know people say, well, it's not a comedy film. I know, but it's obviously trying to be like that quirky kind of fun superhero Marvel style funny film. But yeah, I mean, it was okay. I can't really say any more than that. I'll give it about a 5 or 6 out of 10.
Yeah. I don't know if you would agree with this, but do you think it would have done better if it was R-rated?
Yeah, probably, because it needs... That's what Venom is, isn't he? It's like needs that kind of R-rated, naughtiness about it to make it more appealing to people.
The thing that I got with that film as well is like when you're listening to some of the fight
villains.
scenes and stuff. When you're listening to some of the fight scenes and stuff, like the sound effects are clearly designed for it to be more gruesome. Like when he's fighting the people and he's like cutting them up and stuff, like you hear the sort of gory sound effects, but there's none of it on screen, like at all.
Yeah.
So it just feels like it's missing that oomph that comes with it,
Yeah. And I didn't really feel connected to the villains either, like the Siren and the Carnage, and it just felt like they were just there.
Yeah. I think Woody Harrelson was very good in
it. He did a good job, yeah.
I think he did good with what he had, and I think that was the problem with it, was that it wasn't great. Like it wasn't well written.
Yeah, it wasn't great writing.
But it was not.
But yeah, that's that one. It was enjoyment, but meh. Yes, have you got anything else?
Yeah, I've been watching The Circle. I don't know if you've heard about that. I've been watching the UK version of it on Channel 4. It's basically a bunch of people. It's like a social media experiment, it's like reality TV essentially. They all stay in this one building. They can't actually see each other, but they all have their own profiles.
Oh right, yeah.
Sort of talking like
they can talk to each other on like the online thing.
Yeah. It's quite entertaining. I won't lie. It is very fun. I'm not one for the reality TV stuff, but I genuinely am having fun with this one. It's pretty interesting.
Sometimes they are a bit of a guilty pleasure.
I will admit this is a very much a guilty addiction pleasure for me. Like,
yeah.
I'm a little stuck with it now at this point. So just enjoying it and watching it, and it's been fun. It's a good little shut your brain off, enjoy kind of show. If you ever wanted one of those.
Well, I've been continuing. I watched From season 2, which is it's a good mystery kind of show, which I'd recommend to anyone who likes the likes of Lost and stuff like that. It's got that mysterious edge to it. Obviously, it doesn't compare. It does not compare to Lost at all, but it is. It does in some ways because of the mystery aspect, but it's like one of those shows that is quite slow paced, but constantly building and building. I thought season 2 would finally give us some, like, what are we building towards? And but it's kind of continuing to build and build and build. And I'm like, okay, this is going to be like a 5-season job, isn't it? When they're going to let us know the answers in the 5th season. But I mean, it's quite interesting. It has its good moments. It has its meh filler moments.
Yeah.
But I mean, for anyone who likes that kind of mystery, like. I have my complaints with it, but at the same time, I'm like, I must watch another one.
Yeah.
So yeah, it must be doing something right, but also, so that's so very slow in parts, and not much really happens.
I've been avoiding it because obviously you've been watching it, so I didn't want to mess up where you were. TV.
Well, feel free now.
I will definitely check that one out. That is definitely a show that I want to watch because I like the fact that it's got one of the guys from Lost in it, hasn't it? So and I like him as an actor. He's
it's got and one of the directors who directed a lot of Lost and Fringe. Had nothing to do with the fact that I sought this out to watch it.
Of course,
but yeah,
not at all. No, that's fair.
Yeah, I've been continuing Red Dwarf as well. We've got. I think we're up to like season 10 now. 10. We're on 10 now, so it's a part of like the kind of new run of it.
Right.
So we've got past the kind of older style of it, and it looks completely different now. yeah, I do. I probably would agree with that. At the moment, it is still funny, but it's not. It's lost its edge, I think.
Yeah.
A little bit, which
unfortunately.
It obviously there was that 17-minute special, which was a bit weird because they kind of got rid of the canned laughter. So it was very quiet. It was like weirdly quiet. Sometimes you need that canned laughter to like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe there's an argument that they shouldn't ever be canned laughter because things should be funny like on their own. But I think sometimes it helps.
I think Red Dwarf is just one of those things, and it's enhanced by the fact you have the live studio.
Especially when there's 8 seasons of it, and then it's just silence for this film thing.
Yeah. It definitely didn't have the same kind of comedic timing, I would say, is probably the biggest problem. The thing is, I think as the later series got on, it was only one of the writers that was doing it. So there's not that chemistry with the writing. Again, all the actors are still great. They're still fantastic, especially considering their age. But I just don't think... I think it's like missing that little spark.
Yeah. There was like a 15-year gap between, like, season 8 and 9. And it's like, okay, wow, these are looking a bit older now. Obviously, they've still got their kind of pizzazz with them, and they're still very good as the characters.
Yeah.
But I think it's stuff. A lot of comedy shows when they go through like massive runs, like Benidorm, and they all kind of like lose a bit of their spark, and kind of they're just doing it because they can. A little bit. It feels like they've got the kind of setting, and they've got the characters.
Yeah.
So what can go wrong? But no, it needs that kind of really good kind of story behind it, doesn't it? But yeah, still enjoying it anyway.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad.
And we'll continue and get.
It's definitely not.
Yeah. I'll keep on watching it until the end because watched about 80 episodes so far. So you got to continue to the 100 point.
You've got it. You've got this.
Get me in the ring, tag team.
Tag team me anytime.
Ding ding ding, ding dong.
Ding dong. Oh, that's cool.
But that's all I've been watching. So if you've got anything else,
I've been watching a show called First Dates, which is just very cute. It's kind of just like basically literally as it sounds.
You've been spending time with a woman by any chance?
Maybe a little. Maybe a little. But yeah, interesting to watch. That's been good. Rewatched the Chris Watts documentary on Netflix as well. You know,
oh god, what a psychopath.
That's horrifying to watch again, but I'm glad he got his just deserves, and I'm glad he's in prison now, and you know, hopefully he'll rot there.
Sick.
Yeah, it is disgusting what he did. I'm pretty sure we talked about it at the time when it was happening as well.
Oh yeah.
That's how long we've been doing this.
Definitely talked about it.
That's how long we've been doing this.
Yeah.
It's
long time.
Over 3 years. So yeah, pretty crazy. But yeah, and then
many
obviously
hours.
just watching, me and Shaggy are slowly watching through Bastard, the anime that I got suggested by Robin. It's a slog. Both me and Shaggy have said the same thing. It's not that great. But we don't like starting animes and then just dropping them. We like to try and finish them. So we're sort of intermittently watching a few episodes in between other animes that are better. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the thing. You kind of keep on watching, hoping it's going to get better.
Yeah. Sorry, Robin.
Well, that's the thing about, people's recommendations. So it's nice to kind of find one on my own, just to kind of try it out, rather than saying, oh, this one's the best, this one's the best, this one's the best.
Yeah.
It's like, just, and then you end up watching them, kind of wanting them to be better than they actually are, because this person says it's so good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well,
I can't really say too more about it without offending anyone.
No. But yeah. All right then. If that's all.
Shall we move on to games then?
Yeah, let's get into the gaming section. What have we been playing then, good sir? What have you been enjoying?
I haven't really been playing much, but there's a bit of gaming news I can probably really talk about, I suppose.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's the Red Dead Redemption port, which is kind of weirdly coming out for Switch, which is, fair enough, Switch, and PS5, or PS4 even, not PS5. It's a bit like, they've kind of gone back 5 years in time and just been like, okay, we're now going to finally do a PS4 port.
The thing is, what I don't get is they haven't done anything to the game to warrant it being that expensive either. You can literally buy the edition that they're selling is basically the edition you can get for like 20 quid. Or cheaper.
You used to be able to play it like from emulation from like the PS3 on the PlayStation Now service and what have you.
Yeah.
So I don't really know what's changed.
Nothing. It's literally just the same game. It's no frame rate improvements, no graphical improvements. It's just Rockstar being lazy twats as always. And I think that's the shame of it, man. Is because Red Dead 1 is a fantastic game. The Undead Nightmare DLC is brilliant, but it is not worth 40 quid. I'm sorry, it is not. No. I mean, if you've got an Xbox, just play it on that. Backwards compatibility, you can hit 60 frames on it now anyway, and it's graphically enhanced to 4K as well. There's just no point. Like, you may as well buy the 360 version and just play that. It's so much cheaper, it makes more sense. It's just Rockstar being greedy assholes and not.
It's like whichever executive has thought of this, like, it really needs to think about their decision, because obviously they've heard the word like remake or reboot or whatever, and they've gone, oh, we can do that.
Well, it's literally just
just charge full price again for nothing.
It's just a port. It's not even a remaster. It's not a remake. It's not reimagined. It's literally just a port. And I think that's the issue. Is this just shows how greedy companies are getting now. They're not willing to even
marketing it around, experience it on PS4 like it was intended, and all this like. So what the hell?
Don't get me wrong, fantastic game, but it is not worth that now. It's over.
If you've never played it, sure, this is a great starting point.
Yeah, but buy the 360 version or the PS3 version and play that. Yeah. It is just the same game. Or emulate it on PC legally.
Yeah.
Don't obviously steal it, but if you can emulate it, you'll get a much better experience anyway. And I think that's the biggest shame about all of this, is the fact that it has just been sort of thrown out there, and it could have been something amazing. And I mean, Christ, look what they did with Red Dead 2. That game looks incredible. Imagine if they did that for Red Dead 1, but they're just too lazy, don't want to put the time in. So I just don't get it. Like,
well, that's the first thing the first thing I assumed when I saw the news was like, oh my god, they've remade it in this new engine, which would have been absolutely amazing. I mean, all of the Mexico and whatever is in the game, apparently, anyway, so they could have done it with a bit of work. I know it's not like a copy and paste job, it obviously requires a lot of work, but that's what I assumed. But no, it's just the same thing as the PS3.
What I find hilarious as well is if they had done like a full remake of Undead Nightmare and Red Dead 1, sold them as a bundle. They could have sold it for 80 quid and people would have lapped that up. People would have absolutely paid 80 quid.
I mean, I would have seriously considered that.
Yeah, I would have as well. Like, that's the thing, and that's what's so stupid about this, is they've missed out. A
beautiful experience.
Yeah, they've missed out on such an amazing opportunity just because of laziness. Because they're focused on GTA 6 now. They're not bothered about anything else, just GTA 6. And I think this is heavily going to come back to bite Rockstar in the ass, because they're not going to make any money off this. I think there probably will be people that buy it, and you're an idiot. Don't do that. Don't give a company money for literally doing nothing.
Unless it's your very first time of playing it and experiencing it.
Even then, buy it if you've got an Xbox Series X or S, buy the Xbox 360 version and just play it, because you'll get a better experience.
Yeah. That's the best advice you can give.
Really. It's cheaper and it will be a better... It's literally more graphically enhanced. Like, the console did more than the fucking company did. That's the level of laziness we're talking here. So
yeah, that's where the Xbox backwards compatibility really shines with this game in particular.
Exactly, yeah. And that's where Sony needs to sort of catch up a little bit, I think. But they are... they're getting there, I'm sure. And to be fair, their first-party games are incredible, so... Can't really shit on that. So I mean,
6 of one, half a dozen of the other.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just unbelievably ridiculous that they're being so lazy with it when they had such a great opportunity. I just cannot fathom that level of stupidity.
Rockstar, what are you playing at, man?
What are you playing at?
What are you playing at, Sheila?
You could have done a fucking great job, and now you fucked it. You fucked it into the ground.
You fucked it up.
Yeah. Have you been playing anything though, or?
Apart from a bit of, I literally just play the same things. It's so boring.
Bit of Fortnite.
I have seen a bit of DBD, bit of Fortnite.
I've seen they've released more stuff for Fortnite, so it's changed again.
Nicolas Cage is in Dead by Daylight now, and they are bringing in Alien, Ellen Ripley, and hopefully the Nostromo map, which will be very exciting. That's a very good IP to acquire. I'm surprised they haven't done it yet.
I mean, that's very
wow,
cool.
That'll be so good.
I might actually come back to DBD just for that, because that's very, very cool.
I mean, if they nail the setting and the music and the map, like especially, that will be superb.
Which, to be fair, they've done so far. With everything else they've done a fantastic job with it. So, I mean,
yeah. So it's quite interesting they talk about Dead by Daylight as well, because obviously Texas Chainsaw game has come out now.
Yeah. Which I will be trying. Because it's on
which
the Game
is made
Pass.
by the same people as Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Which has definitely put me off buying it, to be honest. It does look. It's one of those games where you're like, oh, maybe I should just go out on a whim and get this. But it's
on Game Pass. I know it is cheaper, isn't it? They're not selling it as a full price game, which is something. But
I've seen some videos and stuff, and it does look quite repetitive. And there's only like 3 maps, and I just keep on getting flashbacks to the Friday the 13th thing. And if the licenses ever expire or something, then it's just going to be bare bones. And
I mean, I'm gonna try it out because it's on Game Pass. It's come out day one on Game Pass. So I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try that out now on the 360, the Xbox Series S. I'm gonna give that a go, see how it is, and I'll let you know in 2 weeks' time when we do another podcast if it's worth picking up.
Yeah,
I definitely think it's.
But it's also one of those ones where you need a group of friends. To buy it. Which is quite a difficult task in these days. Who has 6 friends?
I mean, not just that, but I think it's also price of games, isn't it? Like,
and willing to buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get it on PlayStation, and if it's good enough, I'll pick it up, and me and you will probably end up picking it up, and then we'll see if Robin wants to.
Let's face it, it's going to go on PlayStation Plus at some point. So.
Yeah, it'll come out on extra at some point.
Probably sooner rather than later.
Yeah, absolutely, mate.
Because I think DBD is definitely still the top of asymmetrical horror games these days.
I mean, I still jump back into DBD occasionally with you and have a few games, and I always have a great time with it. I've never got a bad thing to say about that game, so it's always fun and enjoyable.
It's repetitive and whatever, but it just works.
I mean, that's the thing. It's one of those games that I hop in and out of. Like, I'll have a few games. Okay, that's tied me over for now. Unless it's like a group of all of us, like friends playing together, then it's like, okay, I can play it for longer because you're riffing with bits and stuff. So. But yeah, no, definitely, definitely an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, definitely. Have you been playing anything good?
Yeah, I've
hearing any gaming news.
I've been replaying through God of War. The first one, I say the first one, technically it's the fourth one. God of War, I believe it came out in 2018 that it came out? 2018.
Yeah.
Been replaying that because I'm
Such a
trying to
good
go for
game.
the platinum. Yeah, I'm going for the platinum. Just a few pieces of armor and collectibles that I need to get. So it's been a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed it, actually. I forgot how great that game was. The only problem is now I just want to keep walking around going, boy. So...
But interesting, jackass.
I imagine that Ragnarok will probably come out on Extra at some point in the next year or two, I reckon. So
I do want to play that.
I really want to play that game. It looks fantastic, but I just...
But it's like, just
know
in 6 months' time,
yeah,
it'll be on there.
I know the moment I buy the fucking game, it'll come out on
Yeah.
it does it every fucking time I do it. So I'm just gonna wait.
Every time there's like a post where they line up the games that are given a release, like everyone comments on them like, "You're welcome. I just bought this one. I bought that one, so you're welcome."
Yeah. But yeah, no, I've really been enjoying playing through that again. An old game that I've been playing through as well, Murderer Soul Suspect.
I played that one.
Yeah, I've been replaying that. That's a fantastic experience. A very surprisingly littly talked about game. Like, it wasn't really talked about, but it's such a unique aspect and such a unique way of playing a game. Like, it's really, really cool. Kind of like Sherlock Holmes meets, what's a sort of like a horror-esque, being dead and trying to be a detective while trying to find a killer while still being a spirit and stuff like that. It's just such a great aspect to it, and it's such a shame that I don't think it'll ever get a sequel. It came out on PS4 quite close to the PS4's launch as well, so I mean, it is old, but
I know it's super cheap, and I remember enjoying it when I played it, and I think my friends lent it to me at the time, and I played that, and I enjoyed it.
It holds up really well as well, considering how old it is.
A bit like The Order. That holds up.
Yeah, that's a shame as well that The Order will never get, because I think it's just way ahead of its time. Cutscenes and heavily cinematic. So, but yeah, and Ghostwire Tokyo. I've been playing through that as well. Wanted to finally play through it, so been really enjoying it. It's really fun, interesting combat system. It's different, it's unique. And yeah, it's a fantastic game. The story's really interesting and cool and intriguing. The communication between the main character or both the main characters, I should say, is really, really good. There's a lot of good jokes and a lot of good dialogue. And it's a very pretty game as well. Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
So it's a great time. I would highly recommend.
For some reason, I just remembered a game that I played ages ago. It's Hidden Agenda. It was one of those ones that is just before Until Dawn came out. It's made by the same people. Yeah. And I remember you had to use your phone to control it. It's like when the PlayStation were going through that phase of, you got to download the app and use your phone to play.
Yeah.
And that was actually quite a good game if you stripped out all the mobile phone parts of it.
Yeah. Because
that was just tedious. But it's quite good. It's like kind of a detective story. And I recommend that game if you can get that cheap, because that is quite good.
Yeah.
And quite fun.
That is a good.
If they even still sell it with the app and stuff these days.
I think you still can play with the app. If you own the game, you can still play it, I think, but I don't know if it's still available, unfortunately. But
that's kind of like the never talked about prequel kind of thing to Until Dawn. It's quite funny.
It is quite good, actually, I must admit. Bit campy, but as all of them are.
Campy, but it's good to an introduction to that style of game.
Yeah. I'll tell you one game that has gone on sale that I did pick up, The Devil in I. So we can finally play through that together.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
On Extra. Yeah, we've done all the others.
Right. I'll get that downloaded later then.
I don't know if it's on Extra yet, but...
is it not?
I did pick it up, but obviously if I have a copy, I can share with you and you can join in the game and stuff as well. So
okay. Right.
Yeah, that might be a interesting playthrough for us both again.
Yeah. I know there's like a whole list of kind of games we can play together that we need to get on. We need to ride that train and ride it hard. and watch some more Person of Interest.
Yes, which we will be doing later today. We will be.
Yes, I have no plans.
I have no plans. I'm going to be
some.
taking my PlayStation back with me so I can watch and play and hang out with you on my TV. So we'll definitely be hanging out.
It's a done deal.
Yes. But yeah. The only other thing I've got for games is talking about digital only, but I think we've briefly talked about this before, but obviously Alan Wake only being digital only. What's kind of your take on just digital only games? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing?
Yeah, going forward, I think it's just the way things are going to be, whether people like it or not. I'd like to have physical copies of games. I like to kind of have them in my hands and know that if the internet ever goes down, that I can just shove it in my PlayStation and play it. What have you, or licenses expire and stuff like that. If I know it saves the developers a lot of money. I mean, it can be the difference between the release dates being pushed back and all this kind of thing. But if this whole retail thing, it probably seems quite archaic to them to continue doing it when probably most of their player base plays on digital anyway.
Yeah.
So I can see why developers would go digital only.
But I think if there's anything to learn by Marvel's Avengers and other games that have been shut down, I think a physical copy is still good to have. I think it's still something they should do.
I need to go on Marvel's Avengers again because I think they made everything free or something.
See if we can made everything
go and get
free.
Everything. I might go and just redeem everything and for no reason.
I platinumed that game. I don't know if I can be asked to go ever touch it again.
Yeah, I feel like my trophies are glitched on that. I can't be asked.
So actually, the trophy that we talked about it was the hives you were talking about that were glitched, right? It's not that. They reset every week. They
so
reset.
You need to do it.
You have
50
to
in
do
a week.
50 in a week. Yeah, the trophy
right.
resets. How stupid is that?
That ain't happening.
No, it's so ridiculous.
I can barely get through one without getting bored.
I know.
So I ain't doing 50. Fuck that.
No. Fair.
I managed to redeem a free $5 from PlayStation Stars thing, so I was happy about that.
That's cool.
So that can go towards my next Plus subscription or whatever it goes towards.
Yeah.
It's worth checking out all these loyalty things because eventually you do get reap some rewards from them. So I recommend people sign up to PlayStation Stars because people probably don't even know about it still.
Yeah, it's free, and to be fair, they have started adding more stuff into it now, so there's a lot more stuff to get, like points. Granted, it's not a lot of points, so it will still take you a while.
You can get between 100 and 150 every month or so for free.
Yeah, and by the way, when you get your PlayStation subscription, that adds points to it as well, and any games that you purchase on sale, whether it be on sale or full price, you get points for that. So it is a good thing to have, I think, in the background. But
definitely,
still needs a bit of work, I would say.
Even if you're just getting Plus subscriptions, because it does add up, and you need like 1,250 for $5, and you get like 500 or so for even the cheapest Plus subscription. So you might as well. And
you get if you can save up 5,000, if you can be bothered to wait for that, then you've got 20 quid. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a good deal. It's a good deal.
Yeah. Get all your loads of things on cost of living crisis.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally a cost of living crisis with all the trans things.
Nice.
Dad joke there.
Yeah, that's good. I like it.
Dad joke that didn't work. It's okay. But wasn't thought through.
I think that's it. I don't have anything else.
I would agree.
Well, there we are. The podcast.
There's the unspoken section.
The podcast for the next 2 weeks. That's it.
Woo!
Hope you guys enjoyed it.
That's your quality, maintaining our quality there.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly.
Hey, it's still an hour, so I mean,
Yeah, you'll appreciate what you get.
You'll appreciate it. But,
You'll appreciate it.
I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you very much for watching or listening, whether it was, either one. And, of course, thank you, Sean, for joining me for it again. It was a pleasure to chat with you, mate. I look forward to hanging out later.
Thank you very much.
Watching some Person of Interest.
Love doing our podcasts.
Yes, I look forward to Person of Interest later. It's going to be good.
Yes.
Long overdue.
More Michael Emerson goodness.
Yes. Long overdue.
But thanks everyone for watching.
Thank you, everyone.
And we hope everyone has a great 2 weeks.
And we shall speak to you in the next month.
Yes. Catch you when we catch you.
Take care. Bye-bye.